Hi, Yvette here. It's been a while since I've put out a video and I'm sorry for that, but I'm one of those lucky people who get to suffer from depression on a regular basis. But that's all over now. I'm doing much better. Here in this video, I think you'll really enjoy making faux homemade paper. But better than the fact that it's faux homemade paper, it is made from junk mail. You know, all that mail you get that you don't want and you end up either thrown away into the dump or into the recycling. Well, now you have an endless supply of paper if you use your junk mail and make it into faux handmade paper. Come join me and enjoy the process. It's a blast. See you in a minute. Hi. A lot of people have been making faux handmade paper out there. And they've all been using copy paper, plain white or colored copy paper, which is fine, that's no problem. But I thought, I've got all of this junk mail, why don't I try and make faux handmade paper with it? So here's the first piece I tried. This one, you can obviously see a lot of the writing still on it and even read some of my business. So that's not acceptable. This one, I sprinkled some dots of color on it, some dots of black specifically on it, and it covers up some of the words, but then there's still a lot showing. So I probably won't use that. This is one I decided, since the words showed through so well, I'm going to put some gesso on it. So I put gesso on the front, but not the back. As a result, I made this, but I also put I put the junk mail down, I put the gesso on, then I put some red acrylic paint on it, and then I did the rest. I put the alfalfa and the coffee and the string from the gauze. So, but see, there's still the back. So what I'm going to do right now is I've decided that the best way to do it is to put gesso on both sides of the paper and use some kind of colorant. I used acrylic paint on this one and it worked fine. In fact, it worked quite well. This time I'm going to try some Delusions ink spray. Let's see, vibrant turquoise. I don't have to cover it all because when I put the glue on, Delusions sprays are water reactive. And since there's water in the glue, the spray will spread out on the whole piece of paper. So, the first step, once you put your color on, if I was using copy paper, I would just put the glue on and start putting the rest of the stuff on. But since I'm using advertisements, since I'm using junk mail, I can't just, I have to put some kind of color. I have to put the gesso on, I have to put some color on. I don't have to put the color on, I can just put an extra layer of gesso. But for me, I like the color, especially this. This is gorgeous. And I'm going to just put the glue on. This is Elmer's glue mixed with water, about a 3 parts glue to 1 part water. And it's a nice consistency. And yes, I am getting blue inside my glue, which is a bother, but it's not really a big deal. It's not going to affect it that much. Okay, so now I have plenty of glue on there. The instructions in Treasure Book's video said use tea that's been used and then dried. Well, I don't have any tea, so I'm going to use alfalfa. I have some alfalfa. I like to keep certain herbs on hand, and alfalfa is one of them. Makes a good tisane and it's healthy for you. So there's some nice texture there and some color. Now we need some strings. Now I have some strings on here that I got from some gauze. So you can do all kinds of things with cheesecloth. You can take it apart like this and just put the strings on there. Or you can spread it out and show the grid on the cheesecloth and get some texture that way. So you can keep adding different textures, different colors of natural things like flower petals. You can trim those onto there. Yarn, different yarns, just as long as it's fairly flat. The next thing you're going to do, there's a couple of options with this next step, and one of the options is to use the back of a paper napkin, you know, the white part, and put it over this. I choose to use white tissue paper and put it over this. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue it down and glue it to the substrate. It's already kind of going down on its own a little bit. You start on one side and then you slowly and carefully spread the glue to the other side. And that way you'll get fewer, if maybe no, air bubbles. You have to be real gentle whether you're using this or the napkins, because it breaks easily and you'll need to repair it if it gets a hole in it, because basically this tissue paper is holding down everything I put on the blue paper. The glue on the blue paper was simply to hold it in place until I could get this on there. And I'm just carefully, very carefully getting all the air bubbles out. And it's looking good. I'm liking the way it's looking. And you should always do this on top of something that won't stick. For instance, I have this Teflon craft mat that I have it on. You could use, I've seen people use the inside bags to cereal. You know how cereal has the inside bags? Which is good. You use the inside bag to put underneath this till it dries. And then you have the cereal box itself to make a journal out of. So that's really cool. Whoop. See, I ripped it right there. And it's easy to fix. Just put another piece of tissue paper down. Okay, I'm going to put that one down there. And I don't see any other places where it needs help. But if you keep messing with it, there will be some. So I'm going to let this dry, and then we're going to do the other side, because if I'm going to use this in a junk journal, I want both sides looking good. So I will be back in a few hours. Okay, I'm back. The first side is dry. It looks terrific. Before it dried and after I put the sheet on it, I went ahead and sprayed a little bit of green Delusions ink on it, and I really like the way it looks. So now I'm going to do the other side. You don't have to watch me do the other side because you've seen the process. And then I will come back and show you what the other side looks like. Okay, so here's the finished paper. This is the side where I sprayed the blue ink spray on the wet glue. After I put the tissue paper down, I sprayed green. On this side, I first sprayed the green on the wet glue, and after I put the tissue paper down, I sprayed blue. I really like how both sides turned out. And this is a piece of junk mail turned into faux handmade paper. I'm very happy with it. I used a piece of this in my daughter's junk journal, and it looks great. And I used her favorite colors, which was kind of fun being able to do that. You can use this stuff for just about anything. If you don't want to do both sides like I did, just do one side and make sure the printed side is glued down onto a page. So if you're making pockets, that would work. If you're making anything that can be glued down on the page, you don't have to do both sides of the paper. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, that's my video for the day. If you got value out of it, please hit subscribe and like, and please be kind, be caring, be creative, and have a great day.